So what's up, you guys? You guys are with Film Reviewer 952, and I have been on YouTube looking up a bunch of film reviewers, and I noticed that they review a lot of old classics. And so I went through looking through my movie drawer, my movie case, and I noticed that I own quite a few. And so I laid them all out here, and I'm going to present each and every single one to you guys, except the sequels. I will perform them together, obviously the Terminator and the Die Hard series. But everything else, I'm going to review to you separately. I own a bunch of the classics, a couple that, all possibly that you guys should know. Now, before I want to get on this, there's a couple things I want to add. I will not be recommending any of these to you because obviously since I own them, I will recommend them to you because I think that each and every single one of these are awesome, and I love each and every single one of these equally. Now, since I got about 15 movies, I have to make each of these very short, very precise, just tell them what I want. I'm not going to try to go any farther. So let's begin. RoboCop. This is a 20th anniversary collector's edition. This is directed by Paul Verhoeven, who also did Basic Instinct, Total Recall, and Starship Troopers and Hollow Men. And he's a very famous director. And now I know it kind of looks screwed up because of up here, and because I don't know if you can notice, but it's kind of a little crooked. There's a store that I go inside the Westminster Mall. It's called Book Off. And it's a secondhand shop, and every single movie that you can buy there is about $5. Every single one. I bought this for $7 though. Like, there's a couple movies that you buy there that were $7, but like I bought like Terminator series there for $5. Not like the series, but I bought each one about $5. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. This is definitely a classic, I believe. Comes with 2 discs. Comes with a little like dun 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 RoboCop. So this is one of my oldies. Not one of my, well, I would say it's a favorite. Now, this was the one film that everybody that I seemed to look at, that everyone seemed to love. Now, I don't mean seem as if everyone else loved it, but except me. I love this movie. I thought this had a great meaning, a great ending. I felt that it had a strong message, and I thought that this should be probably one of Martin Scorsese's best. This is the second film that he actually directed with Robert De Niro. His first one was in the 1973 Mean Streets. This is also another, does it say on here? Yeah, right up here. Collector's edition. There's even the light. It's right in there. Collector's edition. Martin Scorsese. Look at that epic face. I think that's an epic face. That's him. And then Jodie Foster when she was really young. And then, bam, 2 discs. This I also bought at Book Off for $5. What's kind of sad, but also kind of good at the same time, is that it matters when you sell a movie, because when you sell a movie that's passed before the year 2006, they only give you 50 cents for it. No matter what the movie is, it's always 50 cents whenever you go and trade it in. So I guess if you have the urge to sell a movie and it only give you 50 cents for it, you either go someplace else or you don't sell it at all. And so I bought this one, and I'm glad I did from the first moment. Fight Club. This remains even though I do not have a favorite movie, and I will never have a favorite movie, but I have maybe a top 50, and this is definitely in there. This film, I believe, is David Fincher's best. David Fincher, if you don't know him, he also directed Alien 3, he did The Game with Michael Douglas, he did Seven with also Brad Pitt, he also did Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and he also did Panic Room, and he just did Social Network, and he's working on Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, and Cleopatra, and I think he's still doing 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I'm sorry, but David Fincher is one of my favorite directors of all time. I am not a stalker. I just have read and I know a lot about him. But this film is an instant classic to me. I believe that this film is one of my favorites. This is well told, I believe, from a book that David Fincher took great risk and he managed to fly out with flying colors. I am really happy because this was at Book Off, and I have been going there almost every week just trying to find this, and this one's in there. And luckily some guy's like, oh yeah, just put back Fight Club, and I'm like, are you crapping on my pants right now? And I went back there, found it, and I bought it. This film, I don't care what anybody says, this film is amazing to me, and I am totally happy I got this film. Now, what I want to show you is I want to kind of mix oldies with classics, with just very good ones, but like I'm not going to be showing you Inception because that was last year, even though that was a big movie and I would start to almost consider that a classic, even though it hasn't been that old yet. Some of these aren't going to be classics that I'm going to show you, but they'll be films that either you've heard of or just received very, very well ratings. So this one, for example, was a bit of both. This has an 8.8 or 8.9 or 8.7, 8.7 through 8.9 it has on IMDb. This has received many Oscar awards, and this one is a big hit. Was a big hit at the box office. This was a '94 film, but like I said, one of those that I mentioned. Now, this is Pulp Fiction, started by Quentin Tarantino, who also did Reservoir Dogs. He did Jackie Brown, Inglourious Bastards. He did a lot of films. This is probably one of his most classic films. This is a great one. It's a 2-disc. Boom, boom. And I would consider this almost a favorite. This is a very well thought out film, I thought it was. And yeah. The Shawshank Redemption. I believe that this is a classic, but this goes under, I believe that this probably goes under the category of very critic-appalled films that did not do good at the box office. Last time I checked, this only made at least 28 million, but this is the #1 highest ranking film on IMDb with a 9.2. And I have not heard one person say anything bad about this film. This has a great message at the end. This has a great story. I think Stephen King probably trusts the poop out of Frank Darabont for directing this movie. Frank Darabont also did The Green Mile, and he also did The Mist, which were both Stephen King films. This was actually based on a short story called Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption. I believe that this film, well, should always be a classic. I think, even though this was the 1990s, but I believe that this movie should get some recognition. Yeah, that's what I'll say. And so, yeah. Now we move on to one of my other favorite action series besides the Bourne Identity series. But this is Die Hard, all with Bruce Willis, who did an amazing role in each of these. 1 and 3 were both directed by John McTiernan, who did Predators. I'm sorry, the first Predator, not the third, not the last one, by Nimrod Antal, who also did Vacancy with Luke Wilson. This one is done by Remy Harlem, who also did Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone, and this one is directed by Len Wiseman, who also did Underworld. Now, each of these are great. To tell you the truth, I believe that this one is the old-time best. And if I had to choose one or go right after it, I'm sorry, but I'm an action fan, and I would have to go with the fourth one. I'm sorry, but I believe that this one wasn't as well as they said that it was. I felt that it was kind of somewhat boring. It went more of a different way. It wasn't more of like the action, the explosions, and the mystery and the stealthiness as in Die Hard. This one more is like crime and solving. It was, to tell you the truth, it was almost somewhat boring to me, but it was. I still like it. And this one, I believe it tried. It did all right, but kind of fell short with me. But these are my movies. I believe that the first Die Hard is amazing. My favorite all time.